Do you remember what the last video, ad, or conversation you were in where someone was showing you how to live, grow, or enhance your appearance or lifestyle just like they did? When was the last time you tried those tips and didn't get the same results? Or if you did get the same results, it didn't make you feel any better? There's always someone around to tell you who you should be. And when you try to be like them and follow the exact guide of someone else, have you ever noticed how much energy it takes from you to fit yourself in that mold? Where you learn to edit your thoughts before you speak. You soften your voice so no one feels uncomfortable. Or you were told to shrink your dreams because they seemed too big, and so you did. You were shamed for your talents and gifts, so you hid them because someone once told you that was too much. Somewhere along your journey, you learned that fitting in and assimilating felt safer than standing out. But let me ask you, who were you being safe for? Was it the version of you that was trying to survive, or the person you were actually becoming? Welcome. This is a Shift Your Perspective series where we talk about viewing everyday life from a different perspective. Today's topic: you are all that's needed. We spend years asking about the opinions of others, wondering, will they like us? Will they like what we do? Will they understand me, or will they judge me? Really, do we ask ourselves, is this truly me? Am I doing what is right for me? Because in the moment, we may not realize that the greatest cost isn't rejection from others. It's the abandonment of ourselves a little bit at a time. And when we wake up and realize that we are successful, we are accepted, even admired, yet we feel like strangers in our own life, in our own skin. We didn't realize that chasing someone else's dream was making us pull away from our own self. Now, when you hear people talk about being yourself and being authentic, like I'm about to do, I want it to be clear that I'm not talking about reckless, irresponsible, or uncompassionate behavior. I'm talking about authenticity. That is alignment with who you are as an individual. It's allowing your own thoughts, actions, and values and self-expression to tell your story. Because when they don't, you can actually feel it. You feel it in your body as tension, exhaustion, and the ache of carrying a version of yourself that no longer fits. Think about it. The artists. No one moved history like musicians, painters, writers, inventors, and visionaries. None of them changed the world by asking permission, and they weren't trying to sound like everyone else. Their work mattered because it carried something only they could express. Now, it wasn't perfect or popularity. It was their truth. And you don't have to paint like an artist. You are creating every single day. You create by the way you solve problems, the way you raise your children, the conversations you have, the kindness you offer, the business you build, the way you love, and the life you choose. That is your art. That is your self-expression. So why compare yourself to someone else? When I talk about being you and being authentic, it takes a level of boldness. And being bold doesn't have to look loud. It's telling the truth and telling your truth. Sometimes it's creating something that no one understands quite yet. And sometimes it's saying no when the group says yes. It's leaving when it looks like all the doors are closed. Being bold takes integrity, and it's choosing alignment over the approval of others again and again and again. So here's the shift. Being unapologetically yourself doesn't mean refusing to grow. Because in that growth, it's about completely becoming yourself, a balanced self, a version of self that knows when to lead and when to listen, the version that understands when to create and when to receive, the version who practices when to speak and knows when silence carries greater wisdom. When you exist in the fullness of your authenticity, you are not choosing sides. You are living an integrated life. Your authenticity and your growth is your expansion, and it's an expression of who you are. You get to reveal what's beneath the expectations and the labels without fear and the performance. Just imagine if every person stopped trying to figure out, how do I fit in, and instead focus on what is mine to contribute, how much better the world would be. It would be a world where multiple expressions of beauty are exhibited and valued. Innovation is a version of self-expression. Compassion is valued because it's coming from you, and healing would be the way of life. Being boldly authentic doesn't just free you. It gives others permission to stop hiding as well. It's a ripple effect. One honest voice creates another voice. One courageous act awakens another. One authentic life becomes evidence that another way is possible. So, stand up, be bold, and be counted, because the only version that is needed is you, not the version of your mother, father, sister, brother, or influencer. So before you silence your voice, before you hide your creativity, before you dismiss the idea that keeps returning, pause and ask yourself, am I protecting my comfort? Or am I protecting a version of myself that no longer reflects who I truly am? The world has enough copies. It has enough masks, enough performances, and enough people living someone else's definition of success. What it doesn't have is your perspective, your expression, your contribution, your way of bringing wisdom, beauty, and truth into the lives around you. So stand fully in your light. Create boldly, speak honestly, love deeply, and grow continuously. Let these words help to shift your perspective, and I'll see you in the next shift.